Welcome, Supers, back to another Shark Tank Tank Tales. This time we have a Shark Tank business owner, entrepreneur who was just on like 2 weeks ago. It was, I think it was
Yeah.
just 2 weeks ago.
Mhm.
Wow, I'm sure it has been a marathon of a 2 weeks for you. And we are going to get into that and more, all about her Shark Tank experience. So, the founder of Diaper Dust, I need you to give some super claps wherever you are, whatever you're doing right now for Super Regina Crisci. I hope I said your last name right.
Yes, you did. Perfect.
Crisci, yes, awesome, awesome, awesome. Regina, how are you doing today?
I am fantastic. How are you?
I am wonderful. I'm happy to be here. Happy we could connect finally. It's been a little hectic, and
Yeah.
we're making it happen. Whew, all right. So Shark Tank, was this a show on your radar prior to getting to know that you're going to go on the show, or potentially know that you're going to get to go on the show? Were you a fan?
Oh, absolutely. I watched Shark Tank from the beginning. Um, and every time I'd watch, I'm like, oh my gosh, how amazing would it be if I was up there? And I just have like an inventor's mind. Like I look at everything and I'm like, oh, this could be better, or somebody should really come up with that. And it wasn't until this diaper dust, I was like, somebody needs to come up with a solution for this diaper odor. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. So, and I'm like, Shark Tank is where it's at. That's where I've always wanted to be.
Oh, that's awesome. So when it came to Shark Tank, did you apply to be on Shark Tank, or did they find you?
I applied. I went online,
Wow.
yep, just on their website. And it was like, why not? I don't know if I'm in the position to actually do it, but if they call me, I'm gonna give it my all. So they did, and I was like, all right, let's go.
You were one of the few. I think there's only been like one or two other people that have come on the show that have that applied to be on the show versus being, picked, uh,
Yeah.
mysteriously picked. Like just like we found you because you had an article, or we were googling something weird and we found it and reached out and it just worked out. That's
Yeah,
that's awesome.
it's one of those things because I was so small. I just launched in December, and I didn't have a huge marketing budget. So, I mean, how were they going to find me? I was I was like a little unknown, so I needed to make myself known. I needed to do the work to put myself out there, and the application was it.
Ding ding. That is ding the bell over here. So no, cuz I mean, look, they from my understanding it's like 30 to 40,000 people a year apply to be on Shark Tank. And then like only 150, probably 100, if my guesstimate is probably about 160, 170 make it, cuz some don't end up airing.
Right.
And when you look at like all the odds stacked against, and then you combine that with like so many of the people that have come on this show, at least in the last two seasons, have been picked. They were handpicked. They didn't apply. Some of them have never even watched the show. If you haven't for people watching and listening at home, like if you haven't watched my interview, I went to Dino Don's house, and they never apparently watched the show prior. So it's awesome. I think it's awesome to see when people are fans and they actually they go through the process and then get picked. Right? It's like getting the golden ticket in a
Oh
little while.
yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. And every step, we can't really talk about each step, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
at each time it gets more real. And you try to stay grounded. You try to say, there's still, a percent chance that I won't get out there. And if I do get out there, there's a chance I won't get a deal. So you try not to like boost yourself up, but you still get like even more excited because you know that they chose you to move on. And it's an awesome feeling.
It is right. I'm thinking there was one that I can't recall which interview it was or which Shark Tank entrepreneur it was, but they uh Oh, no, no, that was one where they were handpicked, but they thought it was, like, kinda like a scam, like, "Oh, somebody just posing to be," 'cause I mean, that'd be my first thought is like, "Oh,
Oh,
yeah, no, there's no way."
absolutely, absolutely. So like I looked up, you know, the email, like, is this a legit Shark Tank email? I'm
I
looking
I
up
I
people
love that.
online, and I'm like, okay, because I'm a big, like, if it smells fishy, I'm not biting. And so yeah. Once I got it, once it was like legitimate, I was like, this is incredible.
No, absolutely. I love that you're going and like, how do I find out? Is this the real email address? Is this really a person even
Yeah.
emailing me? This very much
Yes.
could just be a bot, like sending out emails, right? Maybe somebody hacked the list of people that applied for Shark Tank and
Yeah.
they're sending out, that you win. You're gonna get on. We're gonna make it happen.
Just
And
yeah,
and
just send me a case of your diaper dust, and we'll send you a money order in the mail. And yeah. No, they were
send me
they
a
were very,
check.
everything was very professional. um it was just my own reserve.
Yeah, and that's understandable. Like, I think I always say, we have to question everything, and do as much research as we can for any opportunity. In business, anything that can go wrong will go wrong, and in this case, I mean, it is like getting a golden ticket, but at the same time, there's plenty of opportunity for people to try to scam people. Because, like, I mean, just it could have just been coincidence too, right? Like, you just happen to get the email that people sent. Oh yeah, you've been accepted to be on Shark Tank, and it's just like a spam email or
Yeah.
spam/scam email that just happens to go out to a whole bunch of places all at once, and you just happen to apply like a week or two or three or four earlier.
Yeah, exactly. But when it didn't turn out to be, that, after after all my little investigative searches, I definitely, like, took it more seriously, and um, just started working with them.
So let's move into the pitch, right? So you started to figure out, like, how did you figure out what your pitch was going to look like? How did you start balancing, being a working nurse, having a young child, having a life, and a budding business, and this, I almost said burden, but this opportunity that is a huge, weight to carry, of I got to make the perfect pitch and I got to get everything ready as much as I
Yeah,
possibly can in a
yeah,
relatively short time. And I don't even know when is when. Like,
yeah.
when is
I'm glad.
now? When is then going to be now?
I'm glad you brought that up, because not many people do, like, the preparation, because you can't ask people to help you. You're not supposed to tell people that you're working with them, and because it's to maintain that integrity of that show, it's to protect it. And so you can't reach out for somebody for help and say, hey, like, I really need to nail this pitch down. You work with them some, but it's ultimately up to you. Like, you have to make all the final decisions for your pitch, because they want it to be your decision. Of course, they don't want you to go out there and have them do your pitch and not get a deal, because then you can turn around and say, oh, well, you made me do this pitch. That's why I didn't get a deal. So everything, was finalized. They give you that autonomy. And ironically, it was one of the last things I thought about. And I really had to, like, think. I'm like, how am I going to present this? Like, I know I want to talk about it, but how do I make it exciting? How do I make it, energetic? How do I talk about diaper dust, like a diaper deodorizing powder, something that's like this black, unscented, unfrilly powder? How do I make that sound exciting? And so I was like, I'm going to take them through a little short journey of how I came up with it, and why, more so, like, why I came up with it. I was frustrated. I went through all of the other solutions out there, and it didn't work for me. And ironically enough, when I finally came up with diaper dust, like, Maddox was transitioning out of diapers, so I had, like, a small sample to, like, get it started. And Bobby, my boyfriend, he's like smelling. He's like, okay, yeah, that one doesn't smell. That one doesn't smell. And then we started, like, getting out to friends and family to, like, really, test the ones that were in diapers. Um, so yeah, I took them through like a little short journey of why I was so frustrated, and they understood it.
Well, I mean, I think all of them are parents. Yeah, all of them are parents or were parents
I've
of
changed a
babies at
diaper
some
at
point.
some point, understood the smell, understood, yeah, understood that, or could at least empathize with other parents.
Yeah, the snake, whatever, the diaper genie or whatever. Like I think I talked about this a little bit in my reaction video about how like our we had I think two of them or three of them over the course of our two kids, and both of them effectively broke at some point, probably because they were overstuffed at some point. Yeah, and then
Who's drawing the short straw to take it out?
yeah, it just ends up getting overstuffed, and then it effectively broke, and then wasn't holding any smell in at all. And yeah, so I sympathize with that because like we got to the point where we would basically just take those diapers and put them outside. Not long after taking them out. Worst case, like getting like the plastic bags, the from like the grocery
Yeah,
store or
the
whatever.
grocery store, the little card bags. Yeah,
Yeah, which is apparently is not going to be a thing much longer here in Jersey. They're doing like round two of getting rid of them, rid of them because I mean remember like in the early 2000s it was like, oh, you get your own bag, bring your own bag, and we
yeah.
have like all these bags now, but then the plastic bags just continued and we've used them for other things. So yeah, but it's not ideal. It's not an ideal solution for containing smell. And even if you have the diaper genie, as I can attest, once it effectively gets overstuffed and breaks, you're pretty much still going to deal with the smell
Yeah.
along the way. So I definitely love the idea of being able to have something because like obviously not every diaper has poop in it, right? So you don't need to
Right.
necessarily use it for every diaper, but it's just for the ones you do, it's there, right?
Hmm.
um so I love that you did you originally plan to play that video that you showed of yourself in your backyard sweatshop doing during your pitch, or effectively was that like after the fact,
It
or
was
meant to be for after the fact?
it was more, like let's get as much content to the pitch as possible, and if it comes up in conversation, play it. So it was there for if it came up. So they're ready to play it as I'm talking about. I need this out of my backyard. As you can see, I'm so dirty when I'm done with this. I so that's so they had that like on deck to play.
Oh,
So
okay.
that was
So
really helpful.
it wasn't part of the original pitch idea to
No,
like show that.
no,
Oh, okay.
no, it wasn't. It was something that there was a high probability of it playing because I was definitely going to bring it up. If they didn't ask, I was going to bring it up, how I'm making it. And so there was a pretty high probability that it would be shown. Yeah.
And I think that was a great idea. I mean, to be able to show, like, to make it real, right? Because at the end of the day, like, we're talking about dirty diapers, a powder that neutralizes it. There's not as much there as like we developed this new thing, this whole new technology, or blah 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 blah, and it's like
Yeah.
super intricate. Like, but then to be able to show, like, okay, this is like literally how I make it. Here I am in my
Yeah.
backyard
Yeah.
doing the thing. I
Because
think just makes it more real.
yeah, I mean, if anybody's ever worked with activated charcoal, knows what it is, used it for other things, it's very messy. And I completely underestimated, when I first started, I was like, oh, I'm just going to make this upstairs. I'm going to, put it in a little bottle thing. It got everywhere. It's very messy when you're just working with it alone. And so I was like, I can't do this inside. Like this isn't safe. So let me take it outside. And then it was a matter of mixing it. And I found that tumbling it was the best way. Like, not, you can't really stir it. It's not, so tumbling. And I was like, okay, how am I going to tumble? So that's where the compost tumbler came in. And it was just, it was a lot of trial and error. And, when I say on there, parents can make it. It's very simple ingredients, but you're not going to want to. It's very messy. Activated charcoal, unless you buy it in bulk, is very expensive. And let me do it for you. Like, let me do this for you. And I mean, you have people buying Uncrustables, which are essentially, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, that they can make that at their house too.
Nasty peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, if you ask me. But
Oh my
I haven't
gosh,
had one
no
in a long
way,
time.
no way. I'm
I haven't
hanging
had one
up.
in a long time.
I'm hanging up. You get just a frozen
Really?
Uncrustable. It doesn't even have to be
Really?
thawed. How dare you?
God,
Oh my
I don't know that
gosh.
I've ever had it well, I've had it cold, but I don't remember the last time I've had. It's been a while, and I don't
Yeah.
remember it being what I would say good. I'm sorry.
Well, nonetheless, it's an easy sandwich to make. And, so parents have the opportunity to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich at home, but it's the convenience factor. It's the convenience
Yeah.
factor. And that's where I come in. I want to make it convenient. I don't want parents, having to mix this upstairs.
Bottles of water.
Bottles of water.
Same thing.
Exactly.
I can literally make it in my house all
Exactly.
day. It doesn't mean that it always, is the best solution for the job or the best path to the solution.
Yeah.
And having other people create, those things. There was a video. I don't know if you've ever seen. I think you would find this really interesting. There was a TED talk where a guy set out to make his own toaster as if he had gotten a time machine, went back in time, and was like, "I'm from the future. I'm going to show you how to make a toaster." So he literally went around the world to collect all of the parts and pieces to make a toaster, and it worked for, I don't know, 10 seconds or 50 seconds or something like that. Yeah.
Why did he have to go around the world?
Well, because all the components for a toaster don't just come out of you can't go in your backyard and just start digging up, metal, precious metals and stuff.
Oh, gotcha.
Wait, go look it out, because when you see how the outer shell was made and what it looks like is like, plus I think he wanted to use only technology that he would have been able to use 100 years ago or something like that.
Gotcha. Okay. Like what you have on hand, how you would make it. Okay. That makes it definitely interesting. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So it wasn't like he just, we're gonna collect all these things, then we're gonna go to a shop and use all their tools and their stuff. But yeah, I think you would find that very, very interesting. Anyway, so Shark, so you're getting closer to Shark Tank. You're flying out to LA. And is it starting to set in that it's real, that it's really gonna happen? And how are you feeling about your pitch, and how are you feeling about the business? Because obviously it's we'll get to how you felt on the floor, talked on the floor about your sales. But go from there.
Yeah, I just had to keep it definitely got real. Once you're boarding the plane, you're like, I'm gonna be out there. And you don't think it can feel more real until you get to the next step, and it does. And those jitters set in, and I know myself, I know what's gonna make me anxious and what's gonna calm me down. And preparation is gonna calm me down. So I basically didn't sleep. I slept enough to feel refreshed, but I woke up super early, practiced over and over and over again. Anytime I was in the hotel room, I just practiced. And I mean, if somebody were watching me, I would be making these little motions in my head, and I wouldn't notice that it's coming through. I'd be walking through it in my head, and my facial expressions, somebody would probably be like, what the hell is that girl doing? So preparation was really calming me down. And yeah, it all started it felt more real with each step, and right before those doors opened, before you walk down that hall, it is very nerve-wracking. You're walking down this hall, you're following a camera, and I literally felt my heart going like this, just out of my chest. And when you get out there, I tried to remain calm, on the surface, and professional. And I tried really hard, But then the other part of me was, it was really like pushing through. And so as you could see, like on my face, I tried to like smile, but it was like this ugly cry face that would come through because I was getting so emotional about everything I was talking about. Also, I'm not used to wearing lipstick, and they put lipstick on me. So I'm sitting there like trying to get like used to wearing lipstick. I'm a nurse. I wear a mask all day. Like I'm not used to people seeing my face. For 2 years, it's been hidden. So it was, I'm trying to keep track of everything, my facial expressions, my body movements, I'm trying to be, polite and answer questions. There's just a lot going on, and you could see it all on my face.
Well, that was one of the things that people said about not having to wear a mask anymore. Was like, I can't mouth explicit or whatever. I
Yes.
can't mouth four-letter words anymore without people seeing me doing it.
Yes. Yes. I'm going to feel like naked without this. It's literally a filter. It is literally a filter for everything that I shouldn't say.
That yeah, that's that is definitely tough to have to um get off of what you're used to, and then be able to go through this really high intense stressful situation, high adrenaline situation, all kind of at the same time, in a very short period of time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And my like you don't know what you know some things that they're definitely going to ask. They're definitely going to ask about sales. They're definitely going to ask about numbers. And when that part came, I was like, "All right, Reggie, this isn't good." But they got to know, because if I get a deal with somebody, they have to know everything. They have to know the good, bad, and the ugly. And because the handshake and the hug are great, and it's a good feeling, it's warm, it's fuzzy, but after this, I'm going to have to face them, and they're going to have to go through I'm going to have to go through due diligence, and they're really going to look into my numbers and my business, and I don't want to give them any surprises. So regardless if, America's watching, if people around the world are watching me, maybe fall flat on my face with my revenue and my sales, that didn't matter to me. Like I wanted a true and honest deal.
Yeah, I mean, honesty is the best policy, and being up. I mean, it's not that they need to know; they will know. They will
Yeah, they
find
will
out.
know.
They will,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, so
So being
there was no
upfront.
like, yeah, there was no fluff to it. There was no fluff to it. Um, and I would just, I was who I was, and the business is what it was at that time, and so that's what I told them.
Yeah, yeah. So when it comes to the valuation, how much thought did you really put into it? Like, how did you come to the numbers that that you are willing to go to bat with?
In all honesty, I so the valuation, I didn't really look at it as like a valuation of like my company. Like I didn't do like this whole like market research and all that. I looked at how much money I needed to get to the next step, which was into a co-packer, getting buying up enough inventory so that I could focus on just marketing. And so that's the number that I went in with. And the 40% was a large enough number to make it worth it for them. I'm not going to shortchange anybody. I know what any one of those sharks are worth, and if, in my opinion, they're worth way more than that. But I still wanted to learn and still wanted control of everything. I wanted to have the final say, but I still wanted somebody that I could really learn from. So that's how I came up with those numbers. 40% to 49% would have been the highest I'd go to. Mark, when Mark said I want to make you an offer, I was like, you could say 49%, and I'm gonna say yeah. But of course, you don't say that.
Well, my worry would be that they wouldn't do 49%. They would be like, I'd either gonna be 51%,
Yeah,
50%, or 60%.
yeah.
Um, But at the end of the day, I go back to this a lot. $75,000 is it's a lot of money, but it's not that much money.
Right.
Where it's like, all right, it's worth taking, to own 40% of something that could easily way outpace, especially because it's a reusable product. So you're well, not reusable as in you're using the same container, but
Right. Like
reusable as
yeah,
in
returning
people
customers.
repeat
Yes.
customers. Yes, repeat
Yes.
customers, or I should say disposable, or there's another word for it, but my brain's
Consumable, like
install
a
consumable. Yes, that's the word. Thank you. Ding ding. I can't hit my. There we go. Um, I yeah, I mean, to me, it's pretty easy to scale that up, and with the margins that you were working with, and being able to get that way down from the cost wise, would shouldn't be that difficult. But um, were you when you were going in, was there a shark? I mean, obviously you got to deal with Mark, but was there a shark that or sharks that you were looking for that you were like, "Ooh, I would love to do a deal with A, B, C, or C."
yeah. So because I had a guest shark, I had Emma. I didn't know much about her at all, and but what I did do is once I found out that she would be a guest shark, through Shark Tank's announcements, I actually bought some of her products. I bought the Safely cleaning products. I bought the Good American. I bought a pair of Good American jeans because if she were to offer me a deal, I would like to know, like, hey, what kind of products does she stand behind, and are they good? What's her customer service like? So I did it, and obviously they were fantastic. Like I still use Safely. I still buy that. I still buy Good American jeans. So I had to do a little bit of investigating with Emma. Um, but other than that, I mean, I started with obviously I wanted Mark because he closes the most deals. He like handshakes the least, but closes like his percentage is higher. So that's ultimately what I wanted. I actually didn't think this would be in his portfolio. So I wanted him, but ultimately I was like, it might not be a Mark product. He may not like it, but I'm open to him, obviously. Lori, she's the queen of branding, and I felt like she would have so much to offer in terms of packaging and all that. It's in a simple bottle. Do we have a little bit of room to grow on that? Yeah. But I wanted something simple and user friendly and not too frilly. So I went with what I could access, and Lori could open up those doors for me. Honestly, I mean, I would not have minded, and I wouldn't have minded Kevin or Barbara. I mean, I know Kevin could be like the mean shark, but sometimes that's what you need. You need you need the brutally honest person to tell you, hey, you're messing up, or this isn't good. This isn't a good idea. Which he didn't say. He just said like I'm part time and he's not really interested in the product. So I was happy to hear that from him. I was happy to get that kind of feedback.
Yeah, yeah, no, he is brutally honest, and I appreciate him for that.
Yeah.
Uh, he isn't. I don't think he's always right with what he says. But there's a video here on this channel called "Kevin O'Leary is Wrong." It's a little bit of a
I'll have to
clickbait,
check that
little.
out. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it was a hot take that I just think it was the wrong time for him to have such a hot take about employment. At this point, not that I think it's a bad, not that I think he's always wrong, but I just think at the time in which the times in which we are living, it's
Yeah.
a little not a great take at the time, but yeah, no, I definitely can appreciate it. And I can understand why, Mark might not be, or wasn't necessarily on your mind as like the first person to be jumping at it to be like, yes, yes, sign me up. Let's go. Let's
Yeah.
go, like, conquer some stench.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, when things were progressing through, through the pitch, was there any doubts in your mind coming through? I mean, obviously, you probably recorded from 45 minutes to an hour and a half, but and that time, from my understanding, goes very, very fast. But was it starting to feel like things were getting away from you in there?
Briefly, but it's going so fast that you almost don't have time to realize it. And so when the other sharks were going out, I don't think you need a shark. I think you need a mom influencer, which I do need those. And after airing, like I've gotten an influx of interest. Like, hey, like I have 10,000 followers. I'll absolutely promote this. This is great. Or I have like 150. I have 2,000 or 200,000. Like I'm getting that, which is fantastic. But yeah, as they went out, I was answering their questions but also trying to appreciate their feedback without having that like dread, try to set in. But right before, so I can't remember the order. I think Emma went out last, and when she did, I thought to myself, Mark is still in. And so, if anything, it was like that hopeful voice of I still have Mark. Mark is still in, and when I did the pitch, when they did like when they put diaper dust in that like dirty diaper, immediately he was like, "Oh my gosh, it works! Like you can't smell anything." And that diaper, it did like was absolutely just. I think it smelled worse than a true dirty diaper. So it was I actually had like it was more of a hopeful feeling after they went out because I still had Mark in. So I tried to really hold on to that. And when he started to talk, I like turned myself completely to him and just, welcomed whatever he was going to say. And gosh, that was just a really good feeling. And I actually like reading the comments. Apparently, it was a really good feeling for everybody else too. They were in tears. And I'm like, gosh, I didn't know everybody would be so emotional about this, like I am. But they were. It was a really good feeling.
Well, it is. It's an. I'm actually kind of surprised that you didn't have a bidding war. I mean, at $75,000 for 40%, like any one of them, could have started to, basically bid up the price of your company, even though it was, your $3,000 in sales at the time,
Hmm.
which is, I mean, early and all that, but I feel like there easily could have been, because of the value you're offering, percentage you're offering, plus the relatively low amount of money that you're looking for, um, and the fact that you get to send a co-packer and then you just work on, like you said, marketing, right? Let's
Yeah.
market it and get it into the hands of people, and since it's a consumable, they're gonna buy multiples of it once they get hooked on the idea. So
Yeah.
it's I don't want to say the cash cow term, but like it has that potential to be up there with the. Well, now we don't usually use talcum powder and things like that, but it has
Yeah.
has that potential to be there with it.
Right.
Um, so yeah, I think that Mark stepping in and seeing the value of it and saying, yeah, let's go. I mean, that's awesome. I'm so glad that you have found so much support. I mean, I know a lot of times, like when people cry in the videos, at least in my comments, there's like a handful of people, and I've had to stop the video. And I forget which one it was. I think it was Rock Innovations. And I was like, stop. You stop writing that comment because it's, you're not living that life. Like you're not going through those things, right? And it's easy to sit
Yeah.
back and be like, oh, this is a highlight reel of somebody's experience. That's a highlight of somebody's whole, overall life and experience. So,
Yeah.
it's plus it's TV. Like it's still
Yeah.
TV
And
at the end of
and
the
you
day.
and like all of your emotions, so that's not you're not just living in that moment. You're also it's everything else that you went through is coming to a head in that moment. It's everything that you prepared for. So it's not just the conversations that you're having, with Mark, Barbara, Kevin, Lori, Emma. Like it's not just that. It's all of the preparation. It's everything that you did before even considering Shark Tank, and it's all like just welling up, and it comes to a head in that moment. So yeah, you have a lot. And if honestly, if you don't feel a lot, I mean, I don't usually say this, but if you don't feel it in that moment, like, where's your passion? Like you have to feel it. You have to love what you're doing, and be proud of yourself. I was very proud of myself in that moment, because I'm I'm even just like red right now just talking to you, because I get very, emotional about these things, because they mean a lot to me. And I I have I'm a full-time worrier, not warrior, worrier. Like, I have anxiety, and I know that's like a trigger word for people, but it's very real. And I wake up with like a pit in my stomach, and but I work through it every day. I don't let it get me down, because what helps me is pursuing something. And I was very proud of myself in that moment, that I didn't give up. I didn't say, this is too much for me. It's too much for me to handle. Thanks, Shark Tank. Thank you for your time and everything that you've invested to me, but I can't go on. Like, I actually went through with it, and it paid off. So I cried. Am I allowed to cuss on this show?
Well, I mean, it's
gotta
okay.
edit
I
it
think you
out.
could say that on the radio, but I mean, we do have a younger audience that listens, so it's all
Darn
good.
it.
It's all good. It's all right. It's all right. I will take care of it. No, I mean, look, that is, again, it's easy to sit on the couch, quarterback Monday, quarterback or whatever, and just say, oh, it was like this or like that, and I know I've caught flack in the comments for. Oh, you're too positive. There's no idea seems like a dumb idea to you, and it's like, well, look, I'm trying to look at it from well, first off, these are real people, okay, and they have done a lot, even if they get picked on their own, like, or get picked by the producers of Shark Tank, like, they still have to go through all the things that to make it happen, and on top of that, deal with their life, deal with the business, and deal with everything else that's going on outside the outside forces. So it's a lot, and not everybody's going to have the same reaction and the same experience, and
Yeah.
the same experience in the tank, but same experience outside of the tank. And I think it's in there, again, because these are human beings that are not playing a character
Yeah.
in a
Don't tear us
TV
down.
show. Yeah, like, there's something to be said for that. Like, look, does that mean that in the back of my mind that I'm not thinking the same things that sometimes the comments are saying? Yeah, I look, I've been around business my entire life, okay? I know. But just because I know doesn't necessarily mean I can't look at it and take it at face value for what it is. You
Mhm.
have to remember, again, you lived it. Shark Tank is it's a 45 minutes, hour and a half pitch that they're boiling down to 8 minutes. And you're not seeing every question, you're not seeing every answer, and you're not seeing, hopefully you're seeing an honest representation or the most honest representation of what
Yeah.
happened, but you never really know,
Yeah.
because you weren't there.
Yeah.
So I try to keep it as positive and real, from a realist standpoint as possible. And
Yeah, and
yeah,
I definitely appreciate it. I mean, I watched your reaction video, and I appreciated all of, what you were saying, when you stopped and you commented, like, all of the things that you mentioned. I'm like, yeah, that's everything that you mentioned was considered. Like, it's black, like, is white the right kind of bottle? Like, the price point, everything that you said has crossed my mind. It's on my radar. It's something I had considered, and so yeah, I greatly appreciate, everything that you've had to say.
well, I'm glad you actually watched it. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if you did.
Why would
If
I
you
not
chose
watch it?
I
I
don't
watch
know. I
every.
mean, you
I'm
just
out
got
there
done.
googling my name. I'm like, all right, Diaper Dust. Who's talking stuff? Like, let's go. No. It was more, because we only had, like, obviously not a lot of sales. This was really the big moment of how it was going to be received by people, and 99% have been positive. The other 1% have been, why use this powder? You're just going to throw it away. And I'm like, oh, if you know, you know. then if you don't like it, don't buy it. It's fine. Like I am not trying to shove this product down anybody's throat. If I want to educate you on the product, I want to tell you everything about it, and I want you to choose to buy it. If you don't like it, if you think it's a stupid idea, that's okay. You don't have to buy it. It's not a mandate.
Well, exactly. Like I say that about people watching my videos and have a lot to complain about. And but I mean, even just talking to you and thinking about other use cases, like I kind of want to keep some in the car, in the minivan, right? Because if one of the kids throws up, we might not be able to stop on the side of. It's not necessarily safe to stop on the side of the highway. It could take a little while. There's other types of situations. I mean, heck, what about just like the trash can? Like when the trash can's like not fully full yet, you don't really want to take it out. Like just throw some diaper dust on top of it.
Yes. So one of the other uses that it was after we threw, when you like a whole chicken, like the chicken carcass, like you throw it, you're like, oh, I just took the trash out. And you're about to throw like a chicken carcass in there. And the next day it just smells like somebody just took a dump in your house. Like, not to be graphic, but it is. It's exactly what it smells like. So we're like, all right, let's diaper dust. So it saves us a trip to outside. It saves us a whole trash bag. Yes, you can put it, diaper dust can be applied into a vessel that will be going directly into the trash. So don't put it on furniture. Don't put it on yourself or on people.
Or carpet, I guess.
Or carpet. Yeah, don't put it on carpet.
Okay. That's good. That's good to know, because like that was part of the throw up thing. I was like, oh, if it was on the floor, like.
Oh no, I thought you were talking about like paper towel, like if like in like a trash can. No, don't put it on a surface. The activated charcoal it's so fine that it gets like into those porous, things in the carpet. So yeah, don't do that. It will absolutely get rid of the odor. So if you don't care what your carpet looks like, it'll deodorize it, but it's also going to turn it black. Don't put it in kitty litter. We get this question a lot. Now, yes, the market, the pet owner market is there. You just have to put it in, after you clean out the dirty litter. If you put that litter in a big trash bin, you can put diaper dust in there. That's fine. I just don't want your cats, tracking charcoal all over your house or licking their paws. Now, granted, when they walk on litter, I'm sure they lick their paws too, and that's not very healthy. But I don't want to add to that. I don't want to get into any like diaper dust killed my cat. I can't have that. Even wound care. I mean, you get wound care like after people. I actually have a customer that uses it. She just got out of the hospital. She changes her wounds and like she puts like the gauze, like the dirty gauze, in a bag, and she's like, I'm old, like I'm not able to like carry this trash out all the time, and it smells. So she puts it in there before she throws it in the trash. Colostomy bags, not when it's on your person, but before it goes in the trash. It's the uses for it are definitely out there, but I definitely want to educate everybody. Like, it has to go in the trash.
I just love that you reminded everyone that cats aren't the cleanest animals on the planet. But I'm a little biased. I'm allergic, so it's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they have ruined my days and nights from time to time throughout my life, which stinks.
Oh gosh, yeah. We don't have cats. We don't have cats or any animals anymore. But yeah, they do bring a smell, and yeah, that's it.
So
that's it.
All right. So you get the deal with Mark. Is awesome to see, and you head back to you head back home. How what's like some of the first things that you did once you got through talking with Mark and Shark Tank?
I didn't sit down. Actually, let me tell you, instead of getting back home, I got after shooting, and you go to the hotel before you get on your flight. Maybe this is TMI, I threw up 6 times. Because
Wow.
that anxiety, but I was really thankful that I didn't do it on the set. But I got sick. I got really, really sick. And it was my body's way of saying, like, you're welcome for holding it together, but here. And so that's what happened. I mean, I was just all this ball of nerves just came out. But then, flying home and getting back to my family, it was surreal because it was like I just did that, and now I'm home and I have to go to work and I have to also plan for all of this, and that's when the real work starts, giving them everything that they need to finalize the decision. And so you don't have a lot. They give you like a couple days to settle, and then they start, hey, we need this, we need this, we need this. And I am like, if you email me at 3 in the morning and you need something, I am up and I will get that to you, because I if the ball's in my court, I just shove it back. I'm like, nope, let me I don't want any tasks pending or outstanding. If I have it, I'm giving it back to you when I'm done. So that it was a lot of that. It was a lot of that when between shooting and airing.
Yeah. So did your deal get closed yet?
Yes.
Ink dry? Awesome.
Yes, our deal.
Congratulations.
Yes, I know, big win, big win. Our deal closed about 3 weeks before airing, and so we had a lot to do. I obviously didn't have. I had some capital, to like build some inventory. But once that investment finally, went through, it was like, all right, I can buy a lot more, and just have like a sigh of relief, like, okay, I have the capital. I don't have to move funds from my personal account to my business account anymore, because I had been, personally funding this. On a weekly basis, I would move money from my personal account to my business account to try and, get inventory. But this was a big sigh of relief when everything closed, because like I had mentioned before, like that's the real part.
Yeah. Did you go and find a co-packer like you were saying, like you
Yes.
were talking about looking for? Oh,
Yeah.
did you find that prior to getting the deal done, or after your
Yes.
deal was done?
It was, you're when things are starting to finalize, and it's like, okay, it's just a matter of like signatures and stuff. Then it was like, all right, let's get you in a co-packer. Like, we know this is going to go through. It's just a matter of filings and all that. So let's get you in a co-packer. And so I have a contact, like a resource with his team, and then you update him weekly. And she has been amazing. She's a godsend. But she's been right with me with talking to co-packers, kind of, I tried to email, people, but people don't respond to info@thediaperdust.com. They respond to Mark Cuban. So that was a big, that's why it was so needed for us. And so it's opened up so many doors and given me so many opportunities to have those conversations and grow as an entrepreneur. Because I'm learning, I'm every conversation, I'm learning something new, learning a new question to ask. And they've been extremely helpful.
I guess my question is when it comes to co-pack, like, I mean, obviously, I know plenty about food co-packing, but when it comes to activated charcoal co-packing, is there like a big industry behind this, or like what kind of co-packers were you able to go to use?
So I really wanted to look at people that were already working with activated charcoal. So people that already knew how, like, the particulates and how dusty and dirty it is, and the specifics, the specific machinery you needed to work with it, because it's, it can be corrosive to machines, they're grinding and all that. So I wanted somebody that was already familiar with it. And so that was really the big thing. And after that, it was pretty easy, just narrowing it down to people that were already familiar with the charcoal.
Was it hard to find those people?
Of
Like,
course.
yeah, I bet.
Of course. Of course. Yeah. It's everything's hard, right? Everything's hard because co-packers and, manufacturers, they're busy. Like, they are already inundated with orders and back orders and supply chain issues. So it's like, here we are. Hey, by the way, not to add something to your plate, but this would be a really big, deal for you. We'd like to work with you. Can you do this for us? So it's all very hard.
Well, I just meant finding ones that specifically deal with activated charcoal. It's like you go to like the activated charcoal, co-packers anonymous or whatever that term
Yeah,
directory,
yeah,
.com and type it in and be like, oh, okay, cool. Like here's 20 of them. Let's start sending emails and phone calls.
yeah. It's you need to find it's. I don't I don't really know how to explain the process, but it is hard to find. And it's hard to find somebody that's legitimate, somebody that meets our needs and our standards and our lead time. Um, so it was a lot of things that needed to add up in order for us to execute to use them.
Mm. So the show airs. How did you do a watch party?
Yeah,
How'd you celebrate?
we did a watch party, and it was, well, I didn't know what order I was going to be in. So like when was it June? Who was before me?
Um. Before
Beauty.
you.
Yes.
Was Range Beauty.
Range Beauty. Yes, yes, yes. So they came on, and unfortunately, like I couldn't listen to I wanted to, like I couldn't. I was just nervous, and so we had a watch party, and I come on, and I mean I'm sitting there like this, like you would think that I didn't know the outcome because I'm just so nervous. You don't know the music that they're going to play. You don't know if it's going to be inspirational music, if it's going to be funny music, if it's quirky music, that's all up to them. And you don't know so I'm finding everything out as it's being shown. And my phone just starts, it's like vibrating off my lap. And I look, and like the orders are coming through before I'm even finished my pitch. And we sold out in 15 minutes. And it was a huge, that was pretty amazing. Unfortunately, some of the from the orders that came from the co-packer, like we didn't have as many usable bottles as I thought. And it was my error. I did not update the inventory, and we actually oversold by like 670 bottles. And when I saw that, because I put my phone down and I was like, oh wow, like we're sold out. Like I can put my phone down. I don't have to worry about anything. We're sold out, done until tomorrow. And then my phone's still vibrating an hour later. And I look down and I'm like, I shouldn't be selling. And I was like negative 670 bottles. And I was like, stop. So I actually left my watch party early because I am a people pleaser, and the feeling of like not having inventory and having people buy something was like killing me. It was killing me. So I sent out a video email explaining what happened, and I said, look, we have another order on the 14th. These orders will be fulfilled. I'm actually flying out to the co-packer on the 14th to get the orders out, so that I don't have to wait, 6-7 day transit time to get to me and process them. They're going to come off the line and I'm going to ship them out. And so those like 670 some orders, actually, I think it's less than that now, because I did reach out to some and exchange their order for what we had. And so they were all super understanding. Every single one has been like, no, we understand. Like, it's fine. We're just really happy. Like, you responded to our email. I don't have a team. I don't have a customer service team. It's me. And so they've all been really understanding. And so I'm trying to give back, by going out there and just doing that work to get these bottles out to them as soon as possible.
Okay, so I think I would be more disappointed if your site didn't let people just buy it. We're talking about activated charcoal here, Regina. We're not talking about like I gotta make iPhones and I gotta get them by hand, and like I need all the components from all over the world, to be able to
this toaster.
About one product in one bottle, putting it in the thing and sending it.
Listen, I know. I had so many people around me like, calm down. It's okay. it's okay. It's fine. It will all work out. But I don't like to disappoint anybody, so it was just me. It's still it's a personal thing I'm working through, Joe. Just
Are
leave
they
me
are
be.
they are they directly shipping it from the co-packer to customers, or are they shipping it to
Not
you and then you're
not
shipping
right
it out?
now. No, they're shipping everything to me, and I ship them out by hand, and I
And you
recruit
can
some
only do
family
that so
members.
fast anyway. It's not like you
Yeah.
were going right from the launch, like the launch party. Like, I only jump in my limo, go back, and then literally I'm just gonna start packing stuff up all night, all day, like right?
Saturday mornings, I don't think like I showered
Oh,
and
that's
like
right. You
got ready.
texted me about that.
Yeah, I don't think I like even got ready until like Tuesday of that like that next Tuesday because I was just trying to pack orders and I woke up, sipped coffee, packed orders. Bobby was like cleaning bottles and just getting them ready. And so it was just chaos in here. And so that's exactly what happened. It was I
But
left
it still took
and
days. It still took you days
oh
to
yeah,
get that
it
done,
took
right? So,
yeah.
2 weeks, that's no big deal. Look, there's plenty of Shark Tank products out there that still aren't for sale, from
Yeah.
their original Shark Tank. Like one that comes to mind is Slice of Sauce. I don't know what kind of issues they clearly have gone through some crazy amounts of issues over the years
Yeah.
getting it to back to market after their initial run. But you
Yeah.
know we're not talking about something that's crazy to make. I mean, heck, you could go in your backyard and make it today
Well,
and pack orders if you had to.
I could, but try and find a bottle. I'm telling you, Joe, it's hard. These supply chain polyethylene, like what our
Mm,
bottle is made out of. It's
oil.
everything. It's I who knew that it would be this something so simple is actually very hard to sort. I mean, Gatorade went through like months of not have of being backward because they couldn't make their bottles. And I actually briefly went to the 4 ounce bottles. I don't know if we'll sell those anymore. They just don't travel as friendly.
Mm.
Um, but when we didn't have the 8 ounce bottles, I had to pivot and go to 4 ounce bottles. So it's not as easy as you think, or even as I thought. Starting out. I was like, oh yeah, this will be simple. No, it's hard. It's very hard.
No, I get it. The sourcing end of it is definitely difficult, but we like I said, we are talking about like we're not like, hey, I'm
We're not
gonna
talking about
build an
an iPhone. Yeah,
iPhone.
yeah,
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 we're not talking
yeah. We're
about
not
building
talking
an
about
iPhone.
something that
Like
has like a yeah.
it has
You're right. You're right.
hundreds of different parts components that all have to be in one place at one time. And look, everybody's dealing with the same supply chain issues,
Yeah,
both on business end and as the consumer, right? So everybody's kind of used to like, oh, I ordered it and I gotta wait two
yeah,
weeks or 3 weeks or
yeah,
4 weeks, 6 weeks. So
yeah. I feel
you
like
know,
we're
it,
kind of undoing that like instant gratification that we've built up for so long. Like over the years, everything's been instant, and now we're really having to like step back and say it's not. It's not as instant. So yeah, no, you're right. Thank you for that.
Oh,
Thank you
you're
for that.
welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. So but again, I really would feel disappointed. I think Mark would be pretty disappointed too if he found out like, well, how many orders did we end up turning away because we were sold out of something we will have in 2 to 3 weeks,
Yeah, and that's
4 weeks.
why I actually opened up a pre-order
Ah, okay.
out of last night. Yeah, because I didn't want to do it until I had a good feel, like until our supplies were at our co-packer, and so it was like, okay, this is a yellow light to go. So I released half of our order to pre-order, and um, and then I'll release the other half once the bottles actually get to me. So it is on there. You are able to pre-order on the website. It is just the 8 ounce bottles because we've only had like 5 people say that their 4 ounce bottles were crushed, but out of like all of the orders that went out, so I sent out like replacement bottles right away. But I just don't have a good feeling about the 4 ounce. I don't want to take that chance. So we're just doing 8 ounce for now, and unless I can figure out another way to package the 4 ounce to get there a little safer, maybe just spend a little bit extra money on a box. Um, but yeah, you can pre-order now. I mean, as of this morning, it was almost we already sold like 700, almost 800 bottles. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, tell everyone where they can go finish those pre-order. Finish off for
Yeah,
pre-orders.
you can pre-order on thediaperdust.com, so www.thediaperdust.com. And right now we're not on Amazon. We're not back on Amazon as of yet because we can't do pre-orders on Amazon. But once the distribution comes in, we will be on there. We do have a store on there. It's amazon.com/diaperdust. So once I have that order in, we'll be relaunched on Amazon when we're back in stock. You can also, you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook. You can also follow me on TikTok. That's like more of like behind the scenes, like me as a mom, and just me being goofy. It's not business so much. But so if that's what entertains you, you can follow me there. But I also, I do product updates on there too.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Regina, for coming on today. It's an absolute pleasure having you here. Is there any final thoughts you'd like to share with the super entrepreneurs watching and listening back at home?
Well, thank you. First, thank you, Joe, for having me. You're right. This was like very therapeutic to talk about.
Oh,
It's definitely a change of, like whenever I talk about it, it's a change of scenery from what I'm doing, and whether it's packaging orders or emails and stuff. This is really nice. But to the super entrepreneurs, just keep going. Just keep going. And the reward is out there for the people that don't give up. So that's what I have to say. Just one step at a time, and you will achieve your goals.
I love it. And I'm so glad that you've enjoyed it being here on the Super Entrepreneur or the Super Joe Pardo show, I should say. It really it's always my intention to help other, small business owners, entrepreneurs get to where they want to go and learn, and I'm learning too, right? Like I never made diaper dust before. I never made, worked with activated charcoal. So to me, it's always about learning and understanding something else and something new that can be brought to the table for us to add to our arsenal of experiences and lessons and all that. So I absolutely appreciate you, Regina. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this interview. We'll see you in one of these two. If you haven't watched Regina's video yet, you should totally go see it. I'll put video link up here or down below. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and go be super.
Thank you so much, Joe. You have a great day.